Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
They were right around the corner, so why did some Detroit firefighters refuse to respond when an SUV smashed into the Fillmore Theater downtown? Glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. The Detroit fire crew called to the scene Monday morning was Detroit Fire Engine 1, located just around the block on Montcalm, exactly 0.2 miles away from the theater. But the fire crew there turned down the order to go, and a fire crew more than 3 miles away had to fill in on the fly. Sean Lee has been looking into this and joins us live. Sean, is it ever okay with Detroit Fire for a fire crew to refuse a run?
You wouldn't think so we asked Detroit Fire directly today, and they said no. If you're in service, you go. This crew took themselves out of service despite being so close. That is now under review. Take a look. Fillmore, show night tonight. People are lined up, but box office there smashed by this accident. It's closed down with a SUV in there and a woman behind the wheel, plus the potential for fire. Go this way, right down the block. I could show you right around that corner. The firehouse is right there, but those firefighters did not respond. We've been looking into this all day. Here's the reason why they didn't go. The box office at the Fillmore is literally boxed up after what happened here at 2:40 Monday morning. A driver here on Woodward could not control her SUV and plowed right into the box office, destroying it. Detroit Fire confirms that the driver did suffer some injuries. The extent of those injuries are not known. You would think that injured driver was lucky. Detroit Fire Engine 1 was dispatched to respond, and it is just around the corner from the Fillmore here on Mount Calm. Firefighters are trained in medical care and can reach victims oftentimes before EMS. That would have been the case here. And at that moment, no one knew if the crash would set the Fillmore on fire. And the firefighters from Engine 1 would be in exactly where they needed to be if it did catch on fire. But listen closely to a bewildered fire dispatcher. The crew of Engine 1 said they were too busy to go.
I see we have you en route. Engine 1, you're unable to take the run on Woodward, Engine 1?
Central Engine 1 still doing documentation.
Engine 1, we have you still delayed doing documentation. Missed run.
The Engine 1 crew said they were still doing the standard documentation paperwork from an earlier run. But DFD says that paperwork is usually completed at the run they are on before they leave. Engine 1 says it was doing the documentation at the firehouse right around the corner. Watch, we drove from Engine 1, stopping at stop signs, driving the speed limit, and we rolled up to the Fillmore in 47 seconds. Fire dispatch then told Engine 9, 3.3 miles away on Lafayette and Mount Elliott, to get to the Fillmore.
Special Chief 1, Engine 9, it's reported as an injury accident, vehicle versus building.
Back here live. Injuries to the driver, and again, fire department says it's unclear how severe those injuries are, but police were able to get to that woman even before EMS showed up, and then fire as well. I'm told it's a 10-minute response time. And bottom line, guys, people within the fire department not happy with this. They were pointing us in that direction yesterday. We began digging on this yesterday and today. And then I'm told the fire department, from fire department administration today, that an investigation is now ongoing. If department policy was found to be violated, there will be appropriate discipline. Back to you.
Really bizarre story.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's the moment Spartan fans never imagined would be happening again this soon, the introduction of a new football coach.
Jonathan Smith laid out his vision for the team today, and our Hobie Artigue was there. Hobie, the new coach is getting plenty of advice.
Absolutely. A lot of legendary coaches in attendance today, Kimberly. But yes, this coaching search, AD Alan Haller said that it took about 8 weeks of him beginning the coaching search, kind of with an online search, looking up videos of different teams like this, and also press conferences like this one from Jonathan Smith at Oregon State. And he said that in a short amount of time, he interviewed Smith. He talked to another candidate. They had a third one planned out, and then he scrapped that one because he knew that this was his guy. After a season that hit all the wrong notes, finding the man to lead them into the future is music to Michigan State football's ears. A team that believes it's found that in Jonathan Smith.
I feel being here, the approach we're going to take, I think it's going to be a really good thing for Michigan State.
How does this person fit into what we're doing here? It's really not about going to get a coach out there that has a winning record, that's a good recruiter. It's really important for our community to have somebody that fits in.
Smith's proven to be a winner, turning around his alma mater, Oregon State, going 18-7 the last 2 seasons. A tough, physical, yet innovative brand he brings to East Lansing.
Definitely the message that I'm excited and I'm confident in this approach at this place, and you can do some special things around here.
Michigan State says it's no question they have the right guy, but there are questions about how he will build this team, having no direct ties to the Midwest. We talked with Spartans' all-time winningest coach Mark D'Antonio and asked him about what challenges Smith will face on that front.
It's just a matter of physically being in the place to get to know the individuals, so he's just got to figure it out and spread himself around a little bit. I'm sure he'll start in Michigan first and expand to the Midwest, but I'm sure he'll be able to nationally recruit as well with his ties.
Important for the team to find a fit on the field and one that's part of the fabric of the MSU community.
Ultimately, it comes down to how we act, right? Individually act in the way we believe, but those actions are going to create how other people experience it. And so culture gets driven by actions and how other people experience it.
A lot of excitement in East Lansing, but a lot of work to do for Jonathan Smith. Noah Kim, the Spartans starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, announced that he's going into the transfer portal, which means that the three quarterbacks who saw the most time for Michigan State on the field this year have all declared their decision to transfer. We're live tonight. Hobie Artigue, Local 4.
Okay, Hobie, thank you.
Well, it took most of the day to get that freighter unstuck from a spot in the Detroit River. This entire ordeal started Sunday night. Officials say the bow thrusters became inoperable. The anchor dragged, leaving the 623-foot freighter stuck in the water. Pamela Osborne was there as tugboats worked to free the ship. And Pamela, you were not the only spectator, I don't think.
Devin, I certainly was not. That freighter literally had its own following. People heard about it from watching the news. They read about it on social media. Many of them became so invested that they bundled up. They came down here to the Detroit River to watch as those efforts to free the freighter took place.
They're moving. Spectacular.
Even the slightest nudges were celebrated as a third tugboat joined in on the mission to free the Barbaro G.
I don't understand the theory. I don't.
It was quite puzzling, those three boats pushing with all their might to free a 623-foot freighter carrying a 21,000-ton load of wheat.
I'll be out here until it's free and then head back home.
Matt Leindecker's fascination drove him here from Warren.
It's just insane how much power these small tugs really do have.
The little tugboats did not disappoint.
Are they tough enough?
Yeah. It took hours, but those tugboats did free the freighter, which was headed back to where it first ran into trouble.
Once the vessel is refloated, it will go back to the Belle Isle anchorage, and a third-party assessment will be done to see the seaworthiness of the vessel.
Assuming it's good to go, it'll continue on its journey to Italy, but not before the Coast Guard gets on board to investigate why that ship ran aground in the first place. While it took some time to free it up, it still was the best worst-case scenario.
We were very fortunate in that no crew members were injured, there's no pollution, and it's not blocking the shipping channel, so there's no impact to commercial traffic.
And so a lot of the people that we were speaking to this afternoon, they were, of course, talking about the last time this happened, which was earlier this year. Pretty different situation. That time, it only took a few hours to free that ship from being stuck. But the Coast Guard says a lot of things go into this. The water current, the weather conditions, and, of course, where exactly that ship runs aground along the river. That all makes a difference in how much effort it takes to free it from that stuck position. Now, I should also mention the Army Corps of Engineers. They are going to be coming out soon to do a survey to check and see if any dredging needs to be done in light of this incident, which, as you saw, was quite remarkable. Reporting live tonight in Detroit, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
Well, it sure was. All right, Pamela.
A local business owner is facing arrest and imprisonment for failing to cooperate with Department of Labor investigators. A warrant has been issued for U.S. Marshals to arrest Rosie Guthrie. She's the owner of Genesis Home Care Services in St. Clair Shores. The reason? She hasn't provided time and pay records to investigators who requested them in March of this year as part of a wage and hour division inquiry. She's been in contempt of court since September and is being fined $250 every day. The warrant says marshals should hold Guthrie until she cooperates. Well, all day, Help Me Hank is teaming up with the Heat and Warmth Fund, also known as THAW, to help people keep warm during these cold winter months.
He's live at their headquarters tonight as folks are busy taking donation calls. Such a worthy cause every year, Hank.
Devin, Kimberly, you're absolutely right. Here's the great news. We've just crossed over $100,000. That's good, right? But the goal, it's about $120,000 because there are so many people to serve right here in Metro Detroit. Take a look.
My husband lost his job. It was down to just my income and 5 children, and him and I, it was getting tough paying the full bill.
For another month, I would had a shutdown notice.
Thaw helps people in crisis keep the heat and the lights on during the cold winter months.
When you help thaw, you helping people like yourself to make it and keep a smile on their face.
Back out here live, the number that you can call to donate right now is 888-579-4950. You can also head over to clickondetroit.com. We have all the donation information there. These volunteers, we want these phones ringing. They're going to stay here till 7 o'clock this evening to take your calls, to take your donation. Remember, it all goes to help people right here in our community. We're live here tonight downtown. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Back to you.
The need is so great, as you mentioned, so keep those phones ringing. Hank, we appreciate it.
Well, we had our run of snow, colder temperatures as well, but we also got to see the sun today.
We did, and it was nice, just like our beautiful tree
Look at
in,
that.
I know, in Campus Martius. Let's get over to Kim Adams for a check of the forecast. Kim.
I think it's my favorite shot
Yeah.
that we take.
It's gorgeous.
It's just so beautiful. And we have a little light snow to go along with it. Light, not as heavy as it was during the evening commute last night, but we do have some flurries out there, and wind chills right now are only in the teens. Feels like it's 17 in Pontiac. 19 in Mount Clemens, the warm spot 28 in Port Huron, 16 at Metro Airport, feels like it's 10 out in Ann Arbor. Bus stop tomorrow morning, pretty much the same as today, maybe a degree or two warmer. You won't notice it because wind chills will remain in the single digits, and we could have some light snow for your morning commute. Clearing out in the afternoon, our high climbs to 36. Look at this temperature trend. We're up, we're down, we're back up again, but at least we stay in the 40s after tomorrow for quite some time until Tuesday of next week. We'll talk a little bit more about that snow for your morning commute tomorrow, coming up in a few minutes.